Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. In 5 seconds, I'll step into the camera. Just let me adjust. And good. So, welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is a self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the goals and heights I've set for myself. What do we have today? So we have 2 live streams as usual, but they're going to be very, very short live streams today, partly because I'm tight on time and I slept in too much. But the first live stream I'm going to talk about is just some food. You see 2 photographs in the top left-hand corner, also in the title. What you see is what you get. So we have some food here, fruitcake. I'm going to show it to camera immediately. We'll talk about this a little bit, as well as some Tim Hortons breakfast I purchased yesterday, and we have a little bit of garbage I have to cover as well, and it's all part of the inventory management sort of item catalog sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project. So that focuses on just food, a little bit of reminiscing about what it means or why I purchased it, all that kind of jazz. And then the second live stream is going to cover something that I wanted to cover today, but I can't start, as well as something that came up that made me delay it, and that's this Times bag here, as well as this booklet, and that's what caused the delay, and it's from my workplace. And we'll touch about what that has to do with my workplace and why it's important that I actually have to speak about this in addition to the bag at the same time. It's a work booklet. So those are the 2 main topics we have to cover today in the 2 live streams. The first live stream here, again, welcome if you're from Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. Welcome to the Ahn Rho Project. So, introduction, of course, that's just sort of me telling you a foreshadow what's to come. Let's nail down introduction. Long story short, self-therapeutic project, self-improvement process. I mentioned at the beginning. Obviously, that means there are many little sub-series, one of which is, of course, I said the item catalog sub-series focuses on all these materials. It's basically me running through all the items and objects in my life, venting all the emotional sentiment, as well as the almost baggage, as well as the thoughts I have, so that I can finally throw away and discard the things that I don't need to keep, declutter my life, really. The second sub-series that's very prominent is 1,000 Days Till Death. So if you look in the title, again, what you see is what you get. It says something like around 21.2% means 212 days. So about January 2020, I said 1,000 days left until I die. That's the challenge. Accomplish everything within that time. Probably not realistic, but needless to say, I have 3 years. So that's what I have to get done. And then on top of that, we have all the other segments of life, such as money, relationships, finance, hobbies, gaming, music, all that kind of stuff. All that I want to cover on stream. So with that being said, actually it's part of the Ahn Rho Project, which involves streaming. And finally, the last thing to the introduction is just, what is a good way to describe it to you is, if you had 100 hours left, what are the 3 most important things you would do in your life, for who, and how would you manage to live those last 100 hours, roughly 4 days, with satisfaction and to die without regrets. So that's sort of the synopsis. It's like a survival management game, a real life game in a sense. It's also like a business project, shipping and receiving. That's the way I use it to describe the item catalog sub-series. So there's a lot of different analogies I can use. It's a time record. It's me putting my philosophy into practice and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, let's just deep dive into today's content for the first live stream, which is the food here. And, we have 2 photographs on top left-hand corner. That's your left, my right. And so that used to trip me up for a couple of days. I've been trying to put media files on top and point them out. But basically, the first thing I purchased from work I purchased on my way to work yesterday. I'm trying to move out the camera. Is this bagel belt. So belt, it's an acronym for bacon, egg, lettuce, cheese, obviously. And so that's why I had for breakfast yesterday before I went to work. And I was late, and it cost me a bit more because I was kind of binging out. I was late. And so it cost me about $7.60. I purchased it mostly for health-related reasons, has eggs, good source of protein, lettuce, and all, tomatoes. So it's just a very wholesome, fulfilling breakfast for the morning before I start work. And I was late by about an hour, so that was disappointing. And so we have this here, and that's what's left of the bagel belt. The rest is finished. It was a combo. I had a croissant as well as, and it's very crispy. It's very crispy. And also had a chamomile tea, and the chamomile tea was just so that I could take some antioxidants there, and in a way to just, I also to lower my blood pressure. That's one of my colleagues passed on to me. I don't know. I haven't done the proper research into that. I should have, but that's that. And so what we have left remaining is this paper bag and this paper napkin, and that's all we have here today. So about 4 items, and again, this is inventory management. So what comes in must come out. Obviously, this is probably gonna be garbage. I don't plan on reusing this to make any sandwiches. I don't make sandwiches often anyways, but the napkins I'll reuse. The rest of the food packaging is thrown away. So in probably like 15 parts of items in terms of food serving count, as well as all the packaging that came along with it. And just 4 whole items, and the cost again about $7.60 after tax. So that's that. That's one item. We have some garbage here in between. That's just some 2 paper towels from my caregivers I'm not supposed to use. And finally, the last item for this first of 2 streams today is this fruit cake. So Serati brand fruit cake. I'm going to show it to the camera up close, although there is a photograph on the top left again. This one I want to mention because, well, first of all, my brother's going back to university. He's returning back to I believe his last term there, and out of town. So I remember that when I was at university. And so yesterday him and his father bought just a whole bunch of food to bring up. And so one of the things that I think he wanted to bring up was this fruit cake, and he bought this, I believe, or his father did. And the problem is I ate 2, so I have to show it to the camera. So the reason why I felt, aside from just, it looks good, it looks great, that's why I wanted to eat it. But I mean, the main point was, this is a very reminiscent food. I remember when I was, this is going back 2 decades, when I was in, think about early 2000, no, not even, it's like 1999, 1998. At that time, yeah, my brother was just born. So actually, it's like, maybe early 2000, maybe 2001. No, it actually was the 1990s. So it was back in the 90s. I'm trying to recall, right? And so when I was a kid, back in elementary school, my guardians, one of my caregivers would go, and we were living in something called Little India, and I'm in GTA Toronto. We got Little India, Little Italy, Little Chinatown, a little like a Koreatown. We also have Little Jamaica. It's like Greek town. It's just all sorts of different areas, like 10, 15 different cultural hubs of just different people from all over the world living in different towns, and they set up their own place. And so one of those we used to rent out, and we were in a really bad financial situation at the time. But when I was passing by as a kid, my mother used to pick up one of these once in a while, these fruitcakes from an Indian convenience store, I believe, or it's like a supermarket, a very small family-run grocery, and she would pick up fruitcake. So this really reminded me of that. I don't know if it's the same brand. I can tell definitely that if it is, one thing for sure, they don't have as much fruit inside, and that's probably just because inflation, things have gotten a lot more expensive in the past 20 years, and that's that. But this really reminds me. It takes me back. I ate one of these cakes this morning, and then I ate another slice of the cake by breaking it down into my oatmeal, and then having it mixed in with just the bare bones oatmeal, which is just usually like ginger, oatmeal, nutmeg, and milk and water. So just add a lot of flavor to it, a bit of sugar, and a bit of creaminess to it once it was boiled in and start to melt into the oatmeal. So that's it. That's all I have for food today, and that's all I have, I guess, in terms of like consumption. This is obviously, I'm just returning to my brother. I'm gonna put it on the table right now. Just put it on the table, and that's done with. As for the rest of this is mostly garbage. The napkins I will keep, but that's that. So that's it for the first stream. The second stream today, we're just going to move on to this stuff here. Like I said, there's a booklet for my workplace that I created. I completely made out of myself, and that kind of impedes into the whole plans. I planned on covering the Times bag, but I won't be able to today anyways. And so we're going to get onto that. That's going to be the second live stream. Again, right here, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. Thank you for tuning in. 90 seconds to about 2 minutes. I'm going to start that stream once this ends. I'll catch you all there. Thank you. And this is Ahn Rho, seeing you very soon when we cover this next.